Hurry up, said Delaveux. We're close. Z walked closely behind her. They were inside one of the sewers in Mecca. It had been a few days since Delaveux had her interaction with Sybil in the factory she worked in. The interaction that got her fired and made Z the most concerned he's been since they started this adventure. Are you sure you know where you're going? Asked Z. This could be one of Sybil's ploys. She didn't do anything after I got fired. Why would she do something now? We can trust this guy. The guy Delaveux was referring to was a man named Argo. Shortly after she was fired, Delaveux began to hear voices, a situation that freaked both her and Z out. But once Delaveux realized the voice belonged to her friend Argo, who many in Magia assumed was dead, it calmed their nerves. Well, it calmed Delaveux at least. Z was still suspicious as he had never met Argo himself, and knew that Sybil had eyes and ears everywhere. Manipulating Delaveux in this manner was something Sybil could easily do, though it would be some extraordinary technology if she could find a way to have a floating voice follow them around. A floating voice was all that Argo was, and one that only Delaveux could hear for some reason. Argo had explained that he had gone missing into something he was simply calling the Void. The connection to Delaveux and the reason only she could hear him was most likely due in part to the fact that it was Delaveux's teleportation magic that got Argo trapped inside the Void in the first place. A negative reaction to an experiment he was helping Sai perform on Delaveux, the same experiment that helped Delaveux get to Mecca in the first place. The other issue the duo was dealing with was a message they received from Sai the day before. Luna, a Glavolu assassin now working with the Empire, suggested that the only way they could stop Sybil was by both poisoning her human side and inflicting her robotic side with a virus. In order to do this, Sai needed examples of some of Sybil's technology so they could deconstruct it and then create a virus. All of this seemed like a bad idea to Z. There was no way Sybil would not catch on to what they were doing, and without the Empire and the Glavolu backing them up, Z and Delaveux alone could not stop Sybil. Yet Delaveux, with the guidance of Argo, who could freely move through the void, decided that they would try to go as close to the source as possible to give Sai and Luna the best chance to make a virus. Another bad idea, Z thought. Argo said it's this way. Delaveux made a sharp right through one of the tunnels and Z followed. When they reached another split, Z gazed off to his right. It looked like the entrance to a city more than the hallway of a sewer. What is down there, I wonder, asked Z. Not important right now, added Delaveux. We can check it out on our way back. Who knows what Sybil has hidden down here? That would be the Undercity, said Argo, though only Delaveux could hear him. Best to leave that area alone for now. Delaveux nodded and did not give Z the explanation. Z assumed her nod was for Argo and he missed something, but he wasn't offended. He actually had never seen Delaveux this focused before. Sai had sent Z on this mission to keep Delaveux on track, but it was Delaveux leading this little expedition, and Z was just along for the ride now. They finally reached where Argo had guided them, and there was a gate in the way. To all of their surprise, there was no lock on the gate nor any technology preventing them from opening it, though the gate was rather heavy and Z had to help Delaveux to open it. Once inside, the sewer walls seemed to merge into solid walls that were made of beige-colored tiles. Had anyone inside this building in Mecca stumbled upon this pathway, they could easily be able to gain access to the Mecca sewers. Z couldn't help but think this was a strange building design, but it also worried him that it was probably designed this way because only Sybil would access it. Once they reached the first room they had seen since entering the sewer, it was a large square room with nothing but this entrance inside it and a door on the opposite side of the room. This made Z think his assumptions were correct. No security, he pointed out. Nothing for Sybil to worry about in here, or in all of Mecca for that matter. Who would be a threat to her? As Delaveux finished the words, she walked over to the door. She looked around for a way to open the door before trying the handle. It opened when she tugged on it. She opened the door slowly. This is all too easy. Argo, can you scout ahead? Delaveux looked in the direction she assumed Argo was in. He must have answered because she nodded again. She backed up into the large empty square room and closed the door. Let's play it safe. Never thought I would hear you say those words, said Z, but it's a good plan. Argo will go undetected and can scout the area for us for any guards. Hopefully he can find some tech for us to use too. Still not sure if sending that tech back to Sai is going to be easy or undetected by Sybil either. We knew the risks we were taking coming here, said Delaveux. Z was shocked by how serious she was taking this mission. We both understood that we might not be coming back from this. Not only was she being serious, Z could not help but notice a change in her tone. Are you reaffirming that for yourself, or are you asking it like a question to me? Delaveux leaned against the wall next to the door. Both? I think my whole life I've been set up for this mission, but not you, Z. You're only here to protect me. You can leave, live out your life here until Magia comes, then side with them and see how things play out. You don't need to throw your life away just because it's my destiny. Z was unprepared for this side of Delaveux. We weren't sent here with the intention of dying. We were sent here for the hope that we might be able to pull this off. I didn't come this far with you to back out now. Not when we have a chance to stop Sybil. Delaveux looked down at the ground. Good, because I need your help if we're going to do this. We'll get this tech and get out of here. Hopefully the Empire will be ready to aid us soon and we'll put an end to Sybil's reign. Delaveux finally looked him in the eyes again. No, not that. Before Z could respond, she continued. We're not here for the tech. I sent Argo ahead to find out where Sybil is right now. This is the building she frequents the most. Intel I picked up from around town. You intentionally brought us to the building that Sybil is most likely in right now? Are you insane? Delaveux sighed. If you think that's the crazy part, then you won't believe the next thing I'm about to tell you. Sai believes I'm the one spoken about in the Iron Prophecy. That was said to be a boy born in Mecca, not a girl, said Z. Says who? Witches and oracles living in the basement of Magia? Z began to pace back and forth. Even if you're the one spoken about in the Iron Prophecy, it isn't a guaranteed win against Sybil. There has to be other factors, like us waiting for Magia to come back us up at least. Going in with just the two of us and no plan on how to actually stop Sybil? Despite what we just talked about, this really is a suicide mission. But it isn't just us two, said Delaveux. We have Argo. Argo isn't physically here, replied Z. It is physically just us. Argo's intel will be helpful, but when it comes time to fight Sybil, he isn't going to be much help now, is he? Shh, he's back. There was a brief silence as Delaveux listened to what Argo had to say. He's located Sybil. Delaveux opened the door before turning back to Z. I'm going to do this. You don't have to come if you don't want to. Z stood in silence as he let the door fully close. He took a deep breath and then followed after her.